It's not just migrants from Mexico and Central America who are trying to enter the United States. U.S. border officials say the list also includes African migrants. The number of African migrants apprehended by U.S. border officials has spiked from a total of less than 100 in past years to more than 600 in just the last few weeks. They are part of a small but increasing number of migrants from countries other than Mexico and in Central America who cross into the southern United States without authorization. The question is, why are African migrants, some of them refugees, trying to come in through the Mexican border? Roger Muntu has been covering the story for us. He's a host of a popular radio and weekly TV show for VOA's French to Africa service. Thank you for joining us, Roger.
Thank you, Patty.
So tell me first, who are these people, the people who are trying to cross into the U.S.?
Now, Patty, as you said, well, for months we knew that the southwest border was packed with Central Americans who were crossing the borders in record-breaking numbers. But lately we see, as you said, the Africans who are also coming. Now we know that most of them are coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Angola, which is in Central Africa.
So these are Francophiles?
There's a Francophone, and of course, the other one speaks Portuguese in Angola, of course, right.
So we'll talk about why they're fleeing these two countries, but do you have any idea where they're going once they get to the United States?
Now, once they get to the United States, for those, according to those who I spoke with, they're going to different states, but mainly they're going to New York, but the larger number are going to Portland.
Portland?
Yes.
Why Portland?
Exactly. I spoke to the president of the Congolese community in Portland, Mr. Bongiba, who told me that the mayor of Portland, Maine, Ethan Streamling, with his local government, they have been working hard in order to help these migrants who are coming in their state. They are definitely making sure that once they get in the state, they have a place to stay. They have they can get their feet on quickly in order to not only take care of their families, but also to contribute to the economy of Portland.
So that's really interesting how states organize or how states treat migrants make a big difference in terms of migration, migrant patterns, right? So we talked about them coming in from Congo and Angola. We know that there's violence there, but is there something in particular about this year that's making them, move in bigger numbers?
Exactly, Betsy, because what happened is we know that according to the UN, the United Nations, an average of 6 migrants die each year, right? Each year, trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea and the Sahara Desert. So this has been going on. This is what the migrants have been talking among them. So they now think that not only, well, first of all, let's say that path from Africa to Europe is shorter than the longer path that they're taking now, crossing, going to Brazil, and then coming up north. But they rather be safe. They don't care about the longer way that it takes, a longer path that it takes. But according to them, so many people have been killed and dying on the way trying to reach Europe, and especially between that trying to cross the last step, which is Libya to Italy. That space, exactly.
Yeah. So they're actually thinking that it is safer and easier to go all the way to the U.S., starting from Brazil, rather than make the shorter distance to Europe.
Exactly.
And that is causing the increase?
So they think, they're telling me, not that it's easier, but a little bit easier, because they still have to cross. It's a month, long trip crossing from Brazil to the southern border of the United States of America. And also, they also mentioned, Patsy, that the good thing is that when they get here, city officials, religious NGOs are taking care of them better than they take care of them in Europe.
So there's a change in migration pattern from Europe to the U.S.
Correct.
Does the fact that some of these nations in Europe are cracking down on the migrant, does that also give them more pressure to go elsewhere?
Exactly. Again, because they are mentioning how U.S. officials are more open in order to let them come in the country and to listen to them, give them the opportunity to listen to them before either deporting them or giving them asylum.
I can only imagine the kind of things that these people are going through, because they're actually doing this. And of course, they're hearing the news about what's happening in the U.S.-Mexico border. So tell me about some of the stories of desperation that
some of the story of desperation, Patty, it's what really impressed me on this story is that you find people who are coming single, a man who's coming by himself, and then you have a mother who's coming with 2 or 3 kids. Of course, when they get to the borders, the mother and the kids are more likely to be let in first, and they'll quickly deport the single man, who's coming, or they'll be willing to help quickly the mother. But now what they're doing, Patty, is when they get there, they are getting, trying to get together before they enter the United States. Look, just why don't I be your husband? Tell them I'm your husband so I can belong to this family, so I can also enter the United States. This to me was just mind-blowing that they'll do everything to enter the borders.
Roger Muntu, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you so much,
reporting.
Patty, for having me.
Well, that's all the time that we have today. Stay plugged in by liking us on Facebook at Voice of America. Please like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Greta, or follow her on Twitter at Greta. Also, follow me at Twitter at @PWidaKuswara. We leave you now with a photo essay on the plight of refugees around the world. Thank you for being plugged in.